Right, welcome back. Still the morning show right here on the Rise News channel. For more updates on the election in Anambra, we're now we're joined now live in Awka by our correspondent Ovieteme George. Ovieteme, it's a pleasure talking to you this morning. I know you want to give us a blowdown. What has been the reaction like in the state since that declaration at about 12:20 a.m. this morning about the elections being inconclusive? What's the general feel and the mood in Awka and environs of the state, if you can avail us that?
Good morning, Rufai. Good morning, Tundun. Good morning, Dr. Ruben Abati. We had a good time last night. Okay, anticipating that the election could be postponed, eventually, late night, we got the message that a supplementary election in Ihiala, that is tomorrow, 9th of November. For many, it is good news. The fear was that it could be postponed to about a week, 2 weeks, or even a month. But that just came as a breath of fresh air to many who would want to see this election process done with completely. And so Ihiala has become the beautiful bride that many are hoping to get on election day. Perhaps it's a wedding day. It is the focus now, with just about 323 polling units and 448,407 eligible voters going out there. Now, this is just the focus. How well? My understanding is that the three main contenders, according to the results released by Inec, none is from Ihiala. So all of them are going to swoop in on that local government area and see what they can get. As it stands now, everybody's waiting with bated breath to see what happens on that day. Would it be the Florida of Anambra State, or in Bayelsa, Southern Ijo always can swing the votes if the political parties don't dive in. So that's the focus now. Ihiala is what everybody's looking at. It is where everybody, the searchlight is beaming on Ihiala right now.
Well, quickly, Ovieteme George, apart from Ihiala, where in 13 20 registration areas, voting did not take place. There were issues in other, local government areas. In Anambra West, for example, some registration areas did not hold voting. In Orumba North, there was that controversy and that drama that we witnessed on television yesterday. There were also issues in Idemili South and Idemili North, where, some registration areas had issues. Do we have any information as to what decision has been taken with regard to some of those registration areas? And the APC, Anambra, has already issued a statement condemning the election and alleging rigging and manipulation and all of that. Is anybody taking that protest seriously?
As it is on a beautiful Monday in Awka, a day that many think it's sit at home, is a bit difficult to feel the pulse of the people. But I can tell you, all the incidents reported, if voting would take place in those places affected, I think the INEC has the rare privilege of giving us that information. The pronouncement of a supplementary election in Ihiala has actually taken the shine off other places where a few irregularities may have been reported. Ihiala is just the focus right now. You mentioned the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Andy Uba, and then a statement about irregularities or whatever it is. They have their observations. I can't say or place an alert finger on what evidence they have, because they get their feelers from their own situation room. I was in Isofia, in Agwata local government area of Anambra State. So that was actually where I beamed my searchlight on, and I made sure no information passed me by. So they have a genuine concern. They can go through the right channels, and then the Independent National Electoral Commission, that is the electoral umpire body, would have to respond to whatever allegations they are throwing out.
Thanks for all the great work you've been doing over there in Awka. Can you tell us, for the benefit of our viewers, what exactly happened in Ihiala that led INEC to declare the elections inconclusive?
Well, that information could be supplied by my colleague Abel, who was there at the INEC. You know, there were contentions about irregularities here, irregularities there, but the INEC, being the umpire body, had to take about, I think, about over 2 hours deliberating on the evidence, if any, that was projected. Looking at the issues completely from a holistic point of view, the INEC officials all came together, and journalists were waiting outside for long. Whatever decisions they made, it could be based on what they could have. In legal parlance, the prima facie evidence that they have, they could just look at it. So Abel Ejikeme would be coming on quite later, I understand. He will give us more information about that.
So
I can only speak about Sofia, where the home of the All Progressives Grand Alliance candidate was literally invaded by a friendly mob who were there to celebrate, even though the umpire body had not officially declared anybody the winner. They just thronged into the man's country home, and
Ovieteme, I think there's a sense of telepathy, because that was what I wanted to talk about. You know, the reactions from the camp of Charles Chukwuma Soludo, the candidate of APGA. Have you got any reactions? Have you got any reactions from the incumbent governor, you know, Willie Obiano? You know, have you got any reactions for the stakeholders as regards this supplementary elections that will be happening on Tuesday? And what is the preparedness of APGA, or APUGA, as it's called, you know, locally there for this supplementary election? Because nobody planned for this. Nobody planned to have an extension on the date. So would they have to remobilize, and would they have to get their acts together again for what is going to happen in Ihiala?
I've not got a response or a reaction from incumbent Governor Willie Obiano of the APGA, but yesterday I had a conversation with the candidate, that is Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. I think he anticipated this. He said something. He would want to see elections hold in Orumba, but that was eventually declared much later in the night. Now, Ihiala is the focus. He called for patience on the part of the people, on the part of his supporters, that let the electoral umpire body, that is INEC, be allowed to run the election its course. He said he is a process person, that elections pass through various stages and processes before it could get to a point when there could be majority thought that, yes, this is free, fair, and credible. That was what he said when he spoke to me. That was even about a few minutes past 8 last night. So from the APGA camp right now, the attention is also on the candidate, not really Obiano, who has been a bit silent, for the candidate of his party to do all the talking. So it is just a waiting game. And it is good, I'll tell you. Many never thought that this election would hold due to incidences in the build-up. But today, no incidents of bloodshed recorded. Rufai, you mentioned that earlier. I concur. It is a beautiful thing to note. I'm just looking at this from the positive end. It is going on well. So Ihiala becomes the beautiful bride, and all will go and see how many votes they can get there. And the good thing also is that the three main contenders, the leading candidates, do not come from Ihiala. So it is a free-for-all. They will swoop in on and see what they can do. Remember, in Bayelsa 2015-2016, Southern Ijaw was the focus when there was a supplementary election. And eventually, the party, the ruling party took it. Look at Osun State, where they had to do something like a supplementary. Adeleke was leading, and then eventually, what did we get? Oyetola as governor of Osun State. So the focus is on Ihiala. A lot of interest, civil society organizations, election observers and monitors are all, Ihiala would just be occupied on that day. That is tomorrow, when we all go there to see how it pans out.
Thank you so much for your very exciting reportage of all that has happened. Thank you so much, Ovieteme George.